Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your curiosity and transform it into true understanding. Today, we're embarking on a truly fascinating journey, a really in-depth exploration into something so utterly fundamental to who we are that we might rarely pause to truly appreciate its power: our names. Our mission today is, well, it's to cut through the noise and extract the most impactful nuggets of knowledge and insight about names. We'll delve into everything from their deepest, sometimes hidden meanings to their practical, everyday applications. Because, as we'll uncover, names are far more than just sounds or labels. They are living symbols of identity, constantly shaping our world and our place within it.
It's remarkable, isn't it? How universal yet profoundly personal this topic is. Every culture, every single individual engages with names on so many levels. We're not just going to catalog what a name is, we're going to dive into what a name does. What function does it serve for you, for those you interact with, and, for the vast tapestry of society. Prepare to peel back layers of meaning and discover connections you might never have considered before.
All right, let's begin by considering the sheer fundamental role names play in shaping who we are and, crucially, how we interact with the world around us. It's astonishing, isn't it, the profound weight carried by just a few sounds. Our name is, quite literally, one of the first things anyone learns about us, and it frames so much of their initial perception.
It really does. It sets the stage immediately. Hashtag tag 1.1 names as personal and cultural cornerstones.
So the core idea here is that our names are truly inseparable pieces of our identity, following us everywhere, like a constant presence. They subtly yet powerfully shape the way people perceive us. But what's even more intriguing, and perhaps less obvious, is how they can sometimes influence the way we perceive ourselves, almost like an internal compass, you know?
That internal compass is a powerful metaphor, yeah. Because names are imbued with so much more than just sound. Across every culture, names carry incredibly rich layers of history, meaning, and memory. Think about it. A name isn't just a random assortment of letters. It's often a meticulously chosen vessel. These can be names passed down through generations, say, from a beloved grandparent, directly linking an individual to their ancestry and the unfolding narrative of their family. This creates a profound sense of continuity and belonging, a quiet echo of those who came before. Other times, names are inspired by the natural world, reflecting a deep connection to the environment, or perhaps a desire for the child to embody qualities like the strength of an oak, or the tranquility of a river, or maybe the radiance of the sun.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and in some spiritual traditions, names might even be chosen to reflect a particular deity or a desired virtue. And, fascinatingly, sometimes a name is simply chosen because its sound resonates deeply with the parents, a harmonious blend of syllables that just feels right for their new arrival. This isn't a trivial decision. It reflects a core human desire to connect meaning with identity.
I find that incredibly compelling. The depth of thought parents put into this choice is just immense. Imagine that profound, almost sacred moment a baby is born. Parents often spend hours, sometimes even months, meticulously weighing options, discussing what name will truly suit this new life, this blank slate full of potential. It's a decision loaded with so much hope and expectation, a moment where wishes for the future coalesce into a single word.
Exactly. It's packed with meaning from the very start.
They might opt for a traditional name, perhaps one steeped in their family history, connecting their child to a long line of ancestors. This often signifies a respect for heritage and a desire for cultural continuity. Or they might choose something distinctly modern, even wonderfully unique. This could signal a desire for their child to stand out, to forge their own path, or maybe to embody a contemporary spirit that breaks from convention. Consider the trends we see, from classic names experiencing resurgence to highly unique or even invented names, to the influence of celebrity culture or popular fiction. Each choice, whether traditional or avant-garde, is a powerful and deeply personal act of identity shaping. It's a foundational block laid for the person that child will become, a testament to the dreams and love poured into a new life. And the implications, well, they're not just personal, they're societal too.
Absolutely. The choices parents make can even hint at socioeconomic trends or cultural shifts. For instance, studies have shown subtle biases where names perceived as traditional or mainstream can sometimes lead to different outcomes in areas like job applications compared to names perceived as unconventional.
Really? That's quite something.
Yeah, it's not about judging names, of course, but recognizing the unconscious associations society places upon them. It speaks to how deeply ingrained our perceptions around names can be, and how these initial choices, while deeply personal, ripple outwards into broader societal dynamics. Hashtag 1.2, the power of recognition and labeling. So once that name is bestowed, it swiftly transforms into an absolutely fundamental label in countless facets of life, far beyond the quiet of the nursery. It becomes this ubiquitous identifier. Your name appears prominently on school records, securing your place in the educational system. It's emblazoned on your birth certificate, serving as a legal and historical marker of your very existence. It fills the two-field in countless emails, directing communication specifically to you. It's shouted by friends across a bustling street, a clear signal that you are sought out, you are present, you are part of their world.
Yeah.
And it's whispered by loved ones in the quiet of night, a tender, intimate form of address that deepens connection. This consistent and pervasive labeling establishes a unique marker, an identifier that is inextricably linked to an individual's journey through life, almost like a personal brand.
That concept of a personal brand is incredibly apt because even though it might seem like just a sound or a collection of letters, a name holds so much weight, so much power. Think about your immediate visceral reaction when you hear it. Hearing your name spoken instantly draws your attention. It cuts through the ambient noise of the world like a spotlight.
It really does.
It tells you that you are recognized, that you are being called upon, that you are truly seen and singled out by someone else. That moment of recognition, whether it's in a crowded room or a one-on-one conversation, creates an undeniable and deeply personal connection. It affirms your presence, your individuality, and your unique place in that moment.
And there's a fascinating neurological component to this as well. Research using fMRI scans has shown that hearing one's own name actually activates a unique neural network in the brain, distinct from hearing other names or words.
Wow.
Yeah, it lights up areas associated with self-awareness, social cognition, and long-term memory. So it's not just a social convention, it's a fundamental psychological resonance. Being called by name provides a profound affirmation of existence and belonging. From the earliest moments of infancy, being called by name helps us distinguish ourselves from the swirling world around us. It tells us, you are here, you are distinct, and you are worthy of dress. This consistent affirmation, experienced countless times throughout our lives, contributes profoundly to our developing sense of self and our understanding of our unique place in the world.
That makes me wonder about the inverse, though. What happens when that recognition is missing or challenged? If someone's name is consistently mispronounced, or if they are deliberately called something they don't identify with, what then? Does that also impact their sense of self or belonging, perhaps in a detrimental way?
It absolutely can. While being called by name affirms identity, the repeated mispronunciation or outright disrespect of a name can be deeply invalidating.
I can imagine.
It can erode a sense of belonging, create social anxiety, and even lead to feelings of being unseen or misunderstood. This often becomes a significant issue for individuals with names from different linguistic or cultural backgrounds in a dominant culture. It highlights just how critical, accurate, and respectful naming is, not just for practical communication, but for fostering dignity and inclusion. It underscores the social contract implicitly tied to our names, to acknowledge and respect each other's chosen identifiers.
That's a powerful point about the social contract of names. So we've established how names lay the groundwork for our identity and are fundamental to our very perception of self. But as with anything so deeply personal and universally shared, they're not without their complexities, are they?
Not at all. Life's rarely that simple.
Let's turn our attention now to some of the real-world snags and unexpected twists that names can throw our way, and how these experiences, surprisingly, can ultimately connect us. Hashtag 2.1, the practicalities and pitfalls of naming. Indeed. While names are incredibly powerful tools for identity and connection, they also introduce a unique set of challenges into our daily lives. Think about those awkward, all too common moments when your name or someone else's is genuinely hard to pronounce, especially in a different language or a new cultural context.
Oh, yes. We've all been there, haven't we?
You can see the hesitation in people's eyes, the fumbling of syllables. It can lead to uncomfortable social situations, repeated corrections, or even a sense of alienation for the person whose name is constantly butchered. It subtly signals you're an outsider, your name doesn't fit.
Yeah, it could be quite isolating.
Or consider the dynamic of nicknames. Parents might spend hours choosing a beautiful, full name only for friends or classmates to almost immediately shorten it into a nickname. And for better or worse, that nickname often sticks forever, sometimes even against the individual's preference. You might be Robert on your birth certificate, but to everyone you know, you're just Bob.
Or Bobby or Rob.
Right? These seemingly small shifts in how a name is used can subtly alter how a person is perceived, impacting their professional identity or how they feel about their own carefully chosen official identity.
These are very real, very common experiences. Another scenario, and one that many of us can certainly relate to, is when two people in the same class or even the same workplace share the exact same name.
Yes, which John?
Exactly. Suddenly, John or Sarah isn't enough to distinguish someone. Everyone struggles to tell them apart, often resorting to adding a last initial or a descriptive tag like Tall Sarah, John from accounting, or John with the red car.
Ugh.
It's an immediate, practical hurdle to communication and recognition. When we connect these seemingly minor issues, mispronunciation, unwanted nicknames, or shared names, to the broader picture, we see they can have a significant impact on daily interactions. They can affect how readily one is recognized, how comfortable one feels in social settings, and even contribute to a person's sense of individuality when their unique identifier becomes muddled. It almost forces a negotiation of identity. This raises an interesting question. How do we, as individuals and as a society, adapt to these naming conventions? What does it reveal about our social expectations regarding personal identity and our willingness or maybe unwillingness to make an effort for others' names?
That's a critical point. Our adaptations reveal a lot, don't they? For instance, the default to nicknames for ease might show a desire for quick familiarity, but it also maybe glosses over the deeper meaning or unique sound of a full name. It makes me think about how some cultures put a very high premium on using the full respectful name, while others lean heavily into informal address. It really highlights how our approach to names isn't just about efficiency, but about unspoken social rules and cultural values.
Precisely. It's deeply embedded in culture. Hashtag 2.2 connecting us to the world. Despite all.
So despite any of these challenges, whether it's a tongue twister of a name that requires constant correction or the humorous confusion of sharing a name with several others, names remain incredibly powerful. They're not just labels, they are resilient threads that connect us intimately. They linked us to our family, often to long-standing traditions that stretch back generations, and ultimately to the wider fabric of society.
Hmm.
Even a name that causes a little difficulty in pronunciation still carries the weight of its origin, the intention of those who bestowed it, and the unique history of the person who bears it. It's a constant personal thread woven through our narrative.
That thread is so vital. It's a profound observation that, despite any friction, a name is often the very first thing we introduce about ourselves when meeting someone new. It's our initial offering of identity, our verbal handshake, if you will.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And, perhaps more significantly, it's frequently the first thing people remember about us, forming a powerful initial foundation for building relationships. Conversely, and sometimes unfortunately, it's also the first thing people forget, which can lead to its own unique set of social dynamics, a feeling of being overlooked or maybe generic.
Right. The dreaded "I'm terrible with names" line.
Exactly. This duality, being both remembered and occasionally forgotten, underscores just how pivotal names are in our social interactions. They are the keys to unlocking conversations, to recognizing individuals in a crowd, and to fostering a sense of community. This makes names far more than mere words. They truly are living symbols of identity, constantly at play in the grand theater of human connection. They are identifiers, stories, and anchors all at once. It means that the simple act of remembering and using someone's name correctly is one of the most fundamental ways we show respect and acknowledge their personhood.
Absolutely. It signals, I see you. I acknowledge you. That's a compelling summation of the power names hold. Now, to truly appreciate the multifaceted nature of names and, to articulate these complex ideas more precisely, we must dive into the rich language we use to describe them. This isn't just about learning definitions, it's about understanding the specific tools our language provides to discuss everything from different types of names to the actions associated with them.
Yeah, it's like getting the right terminology.
Exactly. It's a vocabulary that shows just how deeply integrated names are into our daily lives and how much nuance exists. Names manifest in so many forms and functions, and it's fascinating how our language has naturally evolved to capture all these nuances through specific phrases and word pairings, what we call collocations. These aren't just random combinations, they're established linguistic units that differentiate very specific aspects of naming. Let's explore some of these incredibly useful collocations and what they reveal about how we categorize and understand personal identity.
Absolutely. Understanding these specific terms gives us a much more precise way to discuss the different roles names play in our lives, from the formal and legal to the intimately personal. Let's start with the foundational official names that ground our identity in society and through our lineage. First, there's the given name. This is your primary personal name, the one typically chosen by your parents and used daily. It's the core identifier in most social and official contexts. Often it's the name that feels most you.
Your first name, essentially.
Exactly. Then, the family name, also widely known as a surname. This is the name that connects you to your lineage, linking you to your parents and ancestors. It signifies your membership within a particular family unit and tradition. Think of its historical evolution, often stemming from occupations, locations, or paternal lineage.
Like Smith or Baker or Woods.
Precisely. Then we have the middle name, an additional name positioned between the given and family names. It often serves as a tribute to a loved one, perhaps a grandparent or a family friend, or it might be a second personal identifier simply chosen for its sound. It offers another layer of individuality, and putting it all together gives you your full name. This encompasses all your official names combined, your given name, any middle names, and your family name. It's the complete legal identifier that appears on official documents like passports and birth certificates.
The whole shebang.
Right. And importantly, there's the maiden name. This term specifically refers to a woman's family name before marriage. It's most often discussed in the context of legal name changes after marriage, and for many it holds a significant connection to their premarital identity, their birth family, and personal history. A powerful symbol of past self.
The maiden name, in particular, always sparks a lot of discussion. It's not just a historical artifact anymore, is it? For many, especially in modern contexts, choosing whether to keep or change it is a powerful statement about identity, independence, and connection to heritage. It speaks to how personal and even political our names can become.
Precisely. It's a fascinating juncture where personal preference meets social expectation and legal frameworks. Moving on to more informal and personal ways we use names, which often reflect closer relationships and social comfort. We have the nickname. This is a shorter or informal version of a given name, or maybe a descriptive name that emerges from a person's traits or experiences. It's typically used by friends, family, and close acquaintances. Nicknames can emerge organically and, once established, can sometimes become even more prevalent and recognized than one's official given name. Think of the transition from Richard to Rich or Dick.
Or Elizabeth to Liz, Beth, Ellie.
So many possibilities. Then there's the pet name, an affectionate or endearing name, distinct from a nickname in its intimate context. Pet names are typically used by loved ones in close, often romantic, relationships or between parents and children. These are often unique to specific relationships and convey a deep sense of closeness, warmth, and familiarity, like honey or sweetheart or something totally unique to the couple.
So a nickname's about familiarity, maybe convenience, but a pet name is really about intimacy. That's a crucial distinction. It highlights how subtly language can convey the nature of a relationship.
Indeed. Names also extend into the professional and public spheres, shaping how individuals and entities are perceived by a wider audience. You have the stage name. This is a name adopted by an individual for professional performance in arts, entertainment, or other public-facing careers. It allows for the creation of a separate public persona, distinct from their legal or personal identity, sometimes offering anonymity or a more marketable image. Think of musicians or actors.
Like Lady Gaga or The Rock.
Exactly. Then there's the brand name. This is the name given to a product, service, or company. It's a crucial element of marketing and identity in the commercial world, designed to represent specific values, quality, or an aspiration for recognition and trust in the marketplace. Think Coca-Cola, Apple, Google.
Instantly recognizable.
Right. And similar to a stage name, but for writers, is the pen name. An alias used by a writer, often to separate their personal identity from their literary works, to adopt a more suitable persona for their genre, or even sometimes to avoid gender bias in publishing. George Orwell is a classic example. And if someone or something becomes incredibly famous, we call it a household name. This refers to someone or something that is so widely recognized and famous that they are familiar to nearly everyone in a particular culture or region. It signifies widespread public recognition, renown, and a deep penetration into collective consciousness.
It's remarkable how a name can transcend a person and become a brand or a cultural touchstone like that. It really underscores their pervasive influence. Then there are those specific contexts and practicalities involving names in our day-to-day lives.
Precisely. These highlight the practical, administrative, and social uses. The baby name. The name chosen specifically for an infant. This often involves extensive research and discussion, influenced by current trends, family heritage, desired meanings, or phonetic appeal. It's a snapshot of a cultural moment, really.
Trends definitely come and go.
They do. Then there's the proper name. This is the specific name of a particular person, place, or thing, and in English, it is always capitalized. It distinguishes a unique entity from a general class, for instance, river, common noun, versus Nile River, proper noun. We also talk about being on a first-name basis. This describes the social convention of addressing someone by their given name, rather than a formal title and surname. It indicates a level of familiarity, informality, and often a desire to foster closer social relationships.
Moving beyond Mr. Smith to just John.
Exactly. And for practical identification, we have the name tag or name badge. These are physical identifiers, typically worn on clothing, to display one's name, especially in professional, social, or event settings. They facilitate introductions, aid memory, and streamline identification in larger groups. And finally, the name list. A compilation of names, typically written or digitally recorded, for various administrative or organizational purposes, such as attendees for an event, candidates for a position, or members of a committee.
Wow, that comprehensive overview truly highlights the incredible utility and diversity of names, doesn't it? It makes me think, among all these categories, which ones do you see evolving the most rapidly in our modern, globally connected world?
That's an excellent question. I'd argue that baby names are in constant flux due to globalization and technology, with trends emerging faster and crossing cultural boundaries more readily than ever before. We see a blend of traditional, unique, and gender-neutral choices, reflecting evolving societal values. Similarly, stage names and brand names are constantly adapting to digital platforms and new forms of media, where catchy, memorable, and unique identifiers are crucial for cutting through the immense online noise. These areas are truly dynamic, reflecting our accelerating world.
That makes perfect sense. The digital age demands memorable handles. That's a powerful analysis of how names are evolving. Beyond specific types and categories of names, there's also a fascinating vocabulary that helps us define and discuss the broader, often more abstract concepts surrounding names. These aren't just about the name itself, but the ideas, feelings, and systems that names are an integral part of. This is where we can really start to unlock deeper meaning, I think.
Indeed, extending our vocabulary around this topic allows for a much more nuanced and profound discussion about the impact of names. These terms help us articulate the various dimensions of what a name represents. Let's start with identity. This is the distinguishing character or personality of an individual. Your name is often considered a core component of your identity, a foundational label that helps define who you are to yourself and how you are recognized by others. It's both individual and social.
Fundamental.
Absolutely. Then signature. A person's name written in a distinctive, usually stylized way. It often serves as a unique form of authentication or personal endorsement, making it highly personal, legal, and verifiable representation of one's name and commitment. We also use title, a word or phrase indicating status, office, or profession, such as doctor, Ms. or professor. Titles often precede a name and convey respect, authority, or a specific role, adding a layer of formal identity.
Like Dr. Evans or Captain Lee?
It's exactly. A broader term is label, a classifying word or phrase applied to a person or thing. In the context of names, it reinforces the idea that names are fundamental identifiers, categorizing and distinguishing individuals. Names are also central to a register, an official list or record, which very often contains names. Think of a birth register, a school register, a hotel guest register, or a voter register, all organized primarily by names, underscoring their administrative importance.
Keeps things organized.
Critically so. And the document that starts it all is the birth certificate, an official legal document recording the essential details of a person's birth, most notably including their full name, date, and place of birth. It's a foundational document for legal identity. We mentioned surname earlier, another common term for family name. It particularly emphasizes the inherited aspect of a name, directly connecting individuals to their ancestral line and family unit. Sometimes names include a prefix or suffix. These are elements added to the beginning, prefix like McDonald or end, suffix like Jr. in John Smith Jr. of a name. They sometimes indicate status, lineage, or a specific relationship.
Like the third or senior.
Right. For brevity, we use initials, the first letters of a person's full name, often used for informal identification, personalizing items, or informal contexts where a full signature isn't needed. A more decorative version is the monogram, a design made by combining or intertwining letters, typically a person's initials. It's a personalized symbol often used on personal belongings, signifying ownership and personal brand.
Very classic.
Then there's alias, an assumed or alternative name, often used to conceal one's true identity. This could be for privacy, legal reasons, creative purposes, like a pen name, or to create a separate persona. Think of a spy using a cover name. A more formal term for a name or title is designation, a name or title given to someone or something that clarifies its role, purpose, or category. For instance, a designation of heir specifically names a person for a legal role. Reference can mean a simple mention of a name or a person who can speak about another's character, often identified by name in job applications. We see names in inscriptions. Words, names, or short messages written, carved, or engraved on a surface. Names are frequently inscribed on monuments, wards, jewelry, or personal items to commemorate or personalize.
Leaving a mark.
Precisely. Names can carry honor, respect, or tribute paid to a name or person. Names can be given in honor of someone, or a person's name can itself become synonymous with honor through their actions, creating a legacy. Names connect us to our heritage, the traditions, achievements, beliefs, values, and cultural practices that are part of the history of group or nation. Names often serve as direct links to this heritage, carrying forward ancestral stories. We talked about recognition, the acknowledgement of something's existence or validity. For names, it's that profound act of acknowledging someone when hearing or seeing their name, confirming their identity. Wide recognition leads to fame, the state of being widely known, often associated with a name becoming a household name or a symbol of public renown. Fame elevates a name beyond a mere identifier. And finally, understanding origin, the point or place where something begins. This is particularly relevant to the etymology and history of names, revealing their linguistic roots, cultural associations, and original meanings, often providing deep insights.
That truly highlights how this expanded vocabulary allows for a much richer, more nuanced conversation about names, doesn't it? It covers everything from the most rigid legal documents to the abstract concepts of legacy, personal significance, and even the psychology of memory. It's like having a sophisticated toolkit to explore every single facet of identity linked to a name. It makes me think about how many of these terms actually overlap and reinforce each other in the real world.
They absolutely do. Take origin and heritage, for example.
Yeah.
Understanding the origin of a surname, perhaps that it meant weaver, connects you directly to the heritage of an ancestral craft and ancient social structure.
Right.
And this name then becomes a label that informs your identity. It's a beautiful web of meaning, constantly interacting.
That interconnectedness is brilliant. So names aren't just nouns or adjectives passively existing in definitions. They are actively involved in countless verbs and actions that shape our daily lives. They move, they change, they're called out, they're written down, they're searched for. This dynamic aspect is where we truly see names in action. Let's explore the powerful dynamic ways we interact with names through a selection of phrasal verbs.
Exactly. These phrasal verbs beautifully demonstrate the functional and active role names play in our communication, administrative processes, and social dynamics. They show names as instruments of interaction. Let's walk through them, giving some examples. First, you can go by a name. This means to use a particular name, which might be different from one's given name. For instance, although his full name is William, he goes by Liam professionally. This highlights personal choice and adaptation.
Makes sense.
Then, live up to a name. This means to fulfill the expectations or reputation associated with a name. Like, the new luxury hotel truly lives up to its name. It implies meeting a standard set by the name itself. You sign up under a name when you register or enroll for something using a specific name. She signed up for the marathon under her married name. A common practice is to call after someone or name after. To give someone the same name as another person, often in honor or remembrance. They named their daughter after her beloved grandmother. This highlights legacy.
A lovely tradition.
Administratively, you might cross off a name from a list, indicating completion or absence. Please cross off the attendees who didn't show up. We often look up a name to search for it in a directory or database to find information. I need to look up his name in the company's contact list. You put down a name or write down a name to record it. Please put down your name on the waiting list.
Basic but essential.
To get attention, you might call out a name. The teacher called out each student's name to take attendance. If a name is tricky, you might need to spell out the letters clearly. Could you please spell out your last name? This focuses on precision.
Happens all the time on the phone.
Absolutely. Families might pass on a name to the next generation, ensuring its continuation and linking to heritage. On a list, you check off a name to mark it as verified or completed. The usher checked off each name on the guest list. When submitting something, you hand in under a name. Please hand in your essays under your full student name. If you omit someone, you leave out a name. Unfortunately, they accidentally left out her name from the acknowledgments. Right. Taking notes often involves takedown. Writing down information, including names. The secretary took down all the names of the committee members. Forms require you to fill in details, always including names. Please fill in your name and contact information completely. Records are often kept on file, retaining names for future reference. We keep all client names and details on file. In conversation, you might bring up a name. I was just about to bring up her name. She'd be perfect for this project. And finally, you can point out a specific name or person. Could you point out his name on the attendance sheet?
That's a truly comprehensive rundown. These phrasal verbs really illuminate the active, functional, and deeply integrated role names play in our daily communication, record keeping, and social interactions. They truly are integral to how we operate in the world, constantly being used, shared, recorded, and referenced in countless dynamic ways. It shows just how much action is packed into something as seemingly simple as a name.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
From the moment we're born, our name is a verb in action being chosen, called, written, remembered, and passed on. It's constantly doing something.
That's an insightful way to put it. Names truly are verbs in action. Now let's bring all these concepts together, moving from definitions and categories to see how names function in everyday dialogue, and most importantly, the deeper meanings they carry. Because beyond all the linguistics, names are at the heart of how we connect, moment by moment, in our real lives.
Right. This is where it all comes together in practice. Hashtag 4.1, the art of introduction and nicknames.
Imagine a common social interaction, one that we've all experienced countless times, a simple introduction. It's a foundational step in building any new connection. It often goes something like this, a polite exchange that begins to build a bridge between two people. Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? It's the most basic yet most profound opening to any new relationship, an invitation to identify oneself.
And the dialogue continues, immediately illustrating common naming customs and the subtle, often unconscious negotiation of identity that takes place. I'm Anna, and you. The response, I'm David, but people call me Dave. This instantly reveals the prevalence of preferred shortened names or nicknames in our society. It's an implicit invitation to a more casual, familiar interaction, a signal that you can relax, you don't need to be formal. This raises a really interesting question. What does our willingness to adopt or offer a shorter name, like Dave from David, say about our desire for approachability or ease in social settings? Does it make us more accessible, perhaps? Or is it a subtle way of managing how we're perceived, moving towards an identity we feel is more us in informal contexts?
That's a great point. It certainly hints at a desire for social fluidity, and the conversation often continues to explore that preference directly. Oh, do you prefer Dave?
Yeah, people often check.
Yes, it's easier. This simple confirmation highlights the practical convenience that nicknames offer, often streamlining communication and reducing formality. No need to stumble over longer names. Then comes the shared understanding, cementing that connection. That makes sense. My full name is Anastasia, but everyone shortens it to Anna. This exchange underscores the commonality of names being shortened in everyday use, creating a sense of shared experience and mutual understanding in social interactions. It shows how we adapt our formal names for practical social purposes almost universally.
And that's where it often moves beyond the purely practical. The dialogue takes a deeper turn, moving from mere identification to an interest in the name's heritage and significance. That's a lovely name. Does it mean something special? This question is crucial because it elevates the conversation from simply exchanging labels to exploring the rich, often hidden stories embedded within those labels.
It shows genuine curiosity.
Yeah. Exactly. When we connect this to the broader picture of human interaction, it demonstrates our innate human curiosity about the origins, history, and personal significance behind names. It's a desire to connect on a more profound level, understanding that a name is rarely just a random set of sounds. It's a quest for the narrative that underpins identity. Hashtag 4.2, unpacking the meaning behind the sound.
And the response to that last probing question is particularly revealing, truly opening up a whole new dimension of understanding. Yes, it means resurrection in Greek. This single detail isn't just a piece of trivia. It opens up a world of meaning, history, and cultural context that goes far beyond the phonetic sounds of the name itself. It transforms the name from a simple identifier into a compelling narrative, revealing a story or a hope.
What stands out here is how many names, like Anastasia, carry these hidden layers of history, culture, and profound intention that are not immediately apparent to the ear. A name's meaning can deeply resonate with a person's identity, influencing how they perceive themselves, what path they feel they were meant to walk, or even the virtues they aspire to embody. It can reflect their family's deepest aspirations for them. perhaps embodying hopes for strength, wisdom, beauty, or resilience. And critically, it connects them directly to a rich cultural heritage, linking them to ancient stories, philosophical concepts, religious traditions, or significant historical events.
It adds such depth.
It really does. This connects directly to our earlier discussion about origin and heritage, underscoring that names are not arbitrary, but often imbued with profound significance, carefully chosen to carry specific weight, blessings, or historical echoes. This raises an important question. How does knowing the meaning of a name deepen our connection to that individual or culture? And perhaps even more intriguingly, how might that deeper understanding actually shape the person who bears it, consciously or unconsciously?
That's a truly profound thought. Knowing that Anastasia means resurrection might give someone a quiet sense of hope or resilience, particularly during difficult times. Or knowing your name is linked to a strong historical figure could subtly influence your own sense of purpose. It transforms a mere label into a living legacy, a personal mantra, or a connection to something much larger than oneself. That's the real magic of a name, isn't it?
That's exactly it. The hidden power within the sound. Hashtag, hashtag outro.
Well, we've truly journeyed through the incredible world of names today, moving from their role as fundamental identifiers to the rich tapestry of language and deep meaning they encompass. It's been a deep dive into something that touches every single one of us every single day in countless seen and unseen ways.
To tie this all together, we've seen how names are far more than just sounds or convenient labels. They are powerful connectors to family, to tradition, and to the wider society we inhabit. They influence our perceptions, shape our interactions, and profoundly impact our very sense of self. Indeed, names are living symbols of identity, constantly evolving, yet eternally significant, carrying stories, hopes, and history within their syllables.
As you reflect on everything we've explored about names, consider this provocative thought for your own exploration. What hidden insights does your name offer about your personal story, your heritage, or perhaps the hopes of those who chose it for you? And beyond yourself, how might understanding the many facets of names change how you interact with and appreciate the names of others in your life, moving beyond mere recognition to a deeper curiosity and respect for their personal stories?
It's something worth pondering.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the profound world of names. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep connecting with the rich tapestry of the world around you. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.